Yes. So, good afternoon, Gloria. Good afternoon, all our participants.
Good afternoon, Christine, and welcome to a new month.
Oh, yes, it's May already, aren't it?
Oh, yes.
I can't believe this.
Roll on Christmas.
Time flies. Time flies. So how long have we been in this COVID lockdown?
About 6 weeks or more.
It could be.
I have stopped counting. I go with the flow.
Yeah. How the time flies. Before you know it, it's the end of the year. Okay, great. So welcome, Gloria, and welcome all our other participants. And we hope you have a good time today. Our discussion today is on healthy relationship and how to form a healthy relationship. It's a follow-on from what we did last week, which was the violence, gender-based violence. Do you know that today, actually, let me, digress a bit. This morning, the United Nations UN Women spokesperson was on the news, CNN News, and they were talking about gender-based violence. Yeah, and they were saying, kind of repeating all the things we said.
Fantastic.
I was laughing. So I said, wow. So everybody, understands that this is very, very important.
Yeah, of course. Good.
So, so I said, follow on from what we did last week. Our On Your Sofa discussion is based on healthy relationships. Okay, with me today is our co-host, Councillor Gloria Opara. How are you again?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
Just to say, actually, that I'm very excited about all this, what we're doing, and also to remind those who are viewing or listening to us that we never planned this before now, right? It's just evolving. And I seem to be having fun and looking forward to each one as they come. I don't know about you, Christy.
I'm loving it, I'm telling you. And I'm beginning to believe as if I'm a TV presenter. I just don't know. It's so exciting having to hear my ideas and we exchanging ideas through this platform. I'm learning a lot. It's really, it's a very good time to learn. So.
And just like you said, use the word learning. We are learning. So especially there are things that we cannot say we are experts in, but by talking, exchanging ideas, and hopefully even getting our listeners to chip in. Our bank of knowledge in that regard is just being enriched and expanded, right?
And we are rubbing off, our knowledge, on one another.
That's right.
Sharing and connecting and learning from one another.
Yeah.
So it's really, yesterday we talked about me not knowing how to use Zoom. And here we are now on Zoom. I couldn't even know how to download Zoom.
It's less than a month ago we talked.
Exactly. I didn't know how to download it. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to record things. But here we are. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
And not only are we sharing with people here, on the platform here with us, but other people will phone in later and say, oh, I missed this session. And we have something for them to go back to the website and watch and listen to. So it really, really, it's a good thing that we're doing, if I may commend ourselves,
It's one of the ways that, which is one of the things that led to all this, one of the ways of coping during COVID-19 and the lockdown, right? That was how our conversation all started, and,
Exactly, networking, because, being on locked down and isolating, you miss the, the sharing, the exchange that you have with your, your friends and, community members. And we started thinking, Gloria, we said, how can we bring this back again? What can we do? Not just telephone, but if people will be seeing your face whilst they are talking, those body language. We said that 10% of communication is just verbal, but all the other ones that are so crucial, laughter, smile, all the gestures and all that, the body language, that's so important, and we miss it. You can't see somebody's face, you can't see the smile and all that. And that's why we decided, that we want to do this via Zoom, so that not just hearing our voices, but seeing and, So it's really great that we have this opportunity, believe me.
We're making the most of the lockdown, right?
Yeah. So, now, could we, last week we shared on gender-based violence, and we talked about people at risk and how it could happen exactly with partners. We are talking about violence against, a partner, hurting another partner, either physically, mentally, psychologically, economically, or otherwise. And so this is a very good follow-on from that last week, discussion that we had. And today we're going to look at what exactly is a healthy relationship, what makes up a healthy relationship, what are the characteristics and the benefits of having a healthy relationship, and then what also is unhealthy relationship. And then we're going to give some, tips about how one could develop and maintain a healthy relationship. I think we're going to have a question and answer, just 2 questions we want to, address today. And then you will just now close the discussion by just having some, thoughts, final thoughts. So I think that's the template for today's discussion. Is there anything you want to add, Gloria?
No, I think it's great. I'm looking forward to having that heart-to-heart conversation about these topics today.
Oh, great, awesome. So without much ado, let's move to the next slide. So, what is a healthy relationship? What does that mean, actually? Do we have healthy relationship? Is there any relationship that is healthy? And if so, what does it mean? So we were, when we started this conversation yesterday, actually, we were rubbing minds together. And we said that healthy relationship can be seen as where partners, 2 people in a relationship feel good about their relationship, about what they're doing, the kind of bonding they have. So they find it easy and comfortable to talk to one another. They're not frightened and hiding away. So they feel, each partner feel listened to and valued. Not one-sided. Each partner feel listened to and valued. Okay? And they could discuss what is important to them, and they share their feelings, share feelings. So that's what that's what I thought that's how it should be. I'm not an expert on this, but with, experiential knowledge and talking with other women as ourselves, and some men actually, they chipped in, and we come up with this is something that could make up what a healthy relationship is. Do you have anything, Gloria, to add?
I think for me, I would like to just put it in a summary.
Yeah.
It's really an atmosphere, or a place where the individual partners feel secure and safe to be themselves, and just enjoy being in that relationship.
Awesome. I like that.
Do you know that for me is what a healthy relationship will be or looks like.
I really like the word enjoy. Enjoy being in a relationship, not frightened.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. I like the enjoy. That's the best.
Mhm.
Actually. So now, what are the characteristics of a healthy relationship? So we have some few ones that are, I think it's not exhaustive. So we
No,
have,
it's not.
yeah, so we have some few ones that we outlined here. We said, the feeling of closeness, caring, being loyal and trusting, being loyal and trusting. I like that.
Committed.
Committed to one another.
Yeah.
Committed to one another, not just one person being committed
Yeah.
and the other person is just being, I think, what was that symbol that we use? Like a truck towing a broken down vehicle, the driver of the vehicle is in, the broken down vehicle is just in there, and the tow driver, the tow truck is just, towing it away, and the driver is just like that, dormant, doing nothing. So that's not what a healthy relationship should be. Both parties are active in their relationship. They're both caring and valuing and being loyal and trusting. That's exactly very wonderful. And then we said,
Let me just,
yeah,
on that point, I just want to
yes,
say that it is not a situation where one party gives 50% and the other gives 50%. It
mm-hmm.
is, I give 100% and the other person brings 100% to the table. So it's 100% of my commitment, it's
Mm-hmm.
100% of my loyalty,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. So this idea is, well, I've given you 50%, you bring the other 50. No, no, no. It's
No,
100% of both parties that will
yeah.
actually bring to that closeness and caring and loyalty and trust in the relationship.
Exactly, exactly. I agree with you. It's not a question of, okay, I've given that percentage and you should bring
Mm,
the remaining of the percentage. No,
mm.
I don't think so. And then I think in a healthy relationship, they should have shared goals, because, if you're committed to something, so there must be something that you're committed to, isn't it? So they should have shared goals and shared beliefs. Do you want to expatiate on that, Gloria?
I think also for us not to misunderstand or misinterpret, shared goals mean having just one goal.
Mm-hmm.
Shared goals could be, you, my husband, I want you to take up golf
Mm-hmm.
by the end of the year. And then you, Gloria, I want you to take up, I don't know, swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the goal is to enrich our health and well-being, but
Mm-hmm.
doing different things. Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense? So
Yeah, yeah,
it's
of
not
course.
necessarily saying the shared goals have to be that I now have to join him in doing golf, or
Mm-hmm.
he has to join me in whatever things. But it is being supportive in achieving something that makes the other person complete and
Mm-hmm.
happy in the relationship, right?
Exactly. But, it also could go the other way. If they have a shared project,
Yeah, of
could
course.
have a shared project of saying, oh, this is how we want to, uh, in the next 5 months, we want to complete this, but you're completing it together. You
Oh,
have a belief that we want to
if,
do this together, and
if your skills and obviously time allows for that,
Mhm.
why not? I know of couples who together build their homes from scratch,
Wow.
so, and they work on it as a project, one of them leading and the other one following. So, yeah, of
Mhm.
course.
So that's great. And then we said also that shared experiences, having shared experiences is one of the characteristics of relationship. Shared experiences. I'm leaving you to talk about this because I don't want to go off on a tangent. That makes me really want to talk more. Do you want to talk about it?
Shared experiences, again, these things can vary, but I think one of the things that we brought up between you and and
Mm,
I was
okay.
a song that we sang was it last week?
Last week,
That brought back our childhood.
yes.
Although although we were living in two separate parts of the country and
Yes.
perhaps the world when we were, coming up as youngsters. But there were things within our upbringing that we
Yeah.
were able to laugh about. Okay, we
Yes.
sang about it and
Yeah.
we laughed. Unknown to me that you also were, you had that experience in school. Well, shared experiences can be anything. It could be, how primary school was, the experience that each of you had when you were going to school, maybe of a special teacher. So it varies. It could also be even in your life as couples. It may be religion, you go to the same church, you go to the same, some people met, going to the same, I don't know, the same gym, for example. So they enjoy something together and that's what brought them together. Or it could well be because they enjoy reading and therefore they encountered each other during a book club session,
Exactly. Anything at all, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And then communication is another thing. It's been coming up for quite some time. Even when we talked about the gender-based violence, communication also came up. Communication, like I said earlier, is not just when you talk aloud, when you're using verbal language. Verbal language is just 10% of communication. So communication, the rest of the 90% is about your body language, your eye contact, your symbols, and all that. And so people should when couples have very good communication skills or the way they communicate, and like we said also that communication is two-way. It's not just one person always wanting to communicate and talk, but then the other partner should be involved in communicating. It's not like, oh, you talk too much or you do that too much. Both people should be open to communicate in any way. It may not just be speaking out. You could be by actually giving a cup of tea. Yeah, communicating, I care for you.
Yeah, your love language could be different.
Yeah, exactly. But also communication entails listening. It entails listening attentively.
With interest.
Showing interest, because that shows it if you listen attentively. And you also, when the person finishes saying what they're saying to you, and you actually summarize and say, is that what you said? And then you could sometimes notice that actually what you said back to this person is not, that's how you thought, or what you thought the person was saying was not actually what the person meant. There could be a miscommunication, and by actually repeating what that person said to you, then the person may either affirm or say, no, that's not what I said, and will correct you. And by so doing, you are actually building your relationship, because if you went on with that miscommunication, then there would have been problem in your relationship. But by actually repeating what your partner said to you and having him or her correct, what they meant, you are averting problem in your relationship. So you're creating healthy relationship. So
and let me just say this: it's usually the women who are the talkatives, right?
Yes.
And the men are the ones that have the gift of listening. So I commend you, partners, who are good in listening, or just sitting there and allowing your wife or your husband to just pour out.
Yes.
Sometimes, as women, we just want to offload. We just want to just get it out of our chest. Therefore, we need somebody who will just sit there and be and be an active listener.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So the next thing also that it's actually a very good ingredient to form a healthy relationship is respect.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say respect, respect must be reciprocal. It shouldn't be a one-way thing. Shouldn't be, oh, that man is respecting the woman and the woman is the recipient of respect, or the man is the recipient of respect. Both parties should respect one another.
Mm.
You know, so it should be something that both people should make a habit to respect one another. Even when you disagree with what your partner is saying, you should do it in a very respectful way.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You shouldn't humiliate your partner. That's what are you trying to prove? I'll give you an example. I go back to Corey all the time, maybe because the theme of what they're saying or showing this past few months has been on violence, about relationship also. And I bring these two characters, soap characters, Jasmine and Jeff. And let me tell you what's going to happen today. This evening, it seems that Jasmine is going to stab Jeff because she's had enough of his humiliation, of treating her like an imbecile, you know? So Jeff always says to her, kneel down and say, thank you for having me. Is that not humiliating?
Mm-hmm.
He said, do you know nobody can have you? You are stinking. You should thank God that I have you. In fact, pack your things and get out. And the house belongs to the woman. Can you believe that? And the man is telling her to get out of the house. I said, until you kneel down and thank me for having you. Is that not humiliating? Is that not disrespectful?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was what happened 2 days ago when he said, kneel down, thank me for having you. I think that was the last blow that broke the camel's back. So today she's going to stab him. So
let's not give away the so let's allow others and our viewers to
exactly
to find out later.
I know, but it was a very good, it's a very good example of what can happen, although it's soap, but it's what's happening. Respect is important. And following up from that is having a very good laugh. Doesn't matter who your partner is, whether your partner is a man or a woman, for, all sexualities, anybody can have any, it's not just heterosexual. We're not just talking about a heterosexual relationship here. Do you understand what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. So we're talking about all forms of relationships. So having a very good laugh is important.
Mm.
It breaks the ice. You feel relaxed. You feel comfortable in the company of that person. You feel that you can trust this person, and
you look forward to meeting them again, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
So you have good, you form a very good bond with this person.
That's right.
And affection, showing affection too. Yeah, there are all sorts of ways to show affection. It could be just, give a bunch of flour, give chocolate to somebody. It could be just, give a peck or kiss. It could be iron somebody's dress or shirt or whatever. It could be a cup of tea. It could be just a hug. And it could be verbal. I really care for you. You mean a lot to me. Some people drop, cards or leave in a post-it by the fridge or on the under the pillow for their partners to find, saying, "Oh, you mean so much to me," and or calling of having an endearing name for this person, a pet's name, So things like that, it's a way of, there are different ways of showing affection. Could be by even praying regularly, praying, if you are a praying person, praying for your partner, and your partner, he or she, hearing and knowing that you are always there, not just physically, but spiritually for them also. That's ways of showing in
I,
their
I
life.
would just like to add a word of caution. It is important when you are showing affection to understand your partner's love language.
Yes.
What do I mean by that? Now, if you don't understand that I am not into, let's say, for example, wearing of perfumes, just for
Mhm.
example, and
Mhm.
just because you think that buying me perfumes, it's your way of showing me affection,
Mhm.
when I don't respond to your gifts, please
Mhm.
don't feel offended. It's just because my love language,
Mhm.
okay, it's not by someone buying me something.
Mhm.
I am the type that perhaps I just like people somehow giving me surprises, like cleaning my house.
Mhm.
And you don't have to buy me anything, for example.
Mhm.
I also know of partners. Recently, I had one of our vicars. He gave the story of during his wife's birthday. He had gone out to buy this painting and everything, thinking that because she loved the artist, particular artist in the 80s. Therefore, suddenly she will be so excited to see his painting in her living room when she woke up on her birthday, only for her to walk into the living room and then looked at this thing and said, "What's that?" So,
Oh.
what I'm saying is it's important for us to also understand, our partner's love language, and
Yeah.
be sincere at
Mm.
least, to offer them as much as possible what it is that will be
And
considered an affection towards them.
yeah, especially some people are not touchy-feely kind of
Oh
people.
no.
And they will feel irritated.
Exactly.
Keep
Also,
pestering. They will think you are pestering them or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So, if yeah, so like we've talked about the characteristics of a healthy relationship. If we really understand those characteristics that we've mentioned now, the few that we've mentioned, I'm sure there are others
Of
that
course.
people know about. If we actually understand those characteristics and try to implement them, we'll find some benefits from them. Our relationship will blossom, and our individuality, our personalities will come out. We will flourish. We will actually, it will bring out the best in us, and it will encourage individual growth because you are very secure and confident of your partner's commitment to your relationship. So that makes you very confident and happy, I think. And then, a happy partner is, what else do you want in life that to
Mhm.
see your partner happy and confident and buoyant and, you know flourishing, so you have a good home, you have a happy home.
And that also leads to a healthy individual,
Oh yeah.
physically healthy individual,
Oh.
because, obviously there has been research that have proven that when you are in an unhappy environment, that even your health, your
Oh
stress
yes.
level goes up and things like that. So being in a healthy relationship uh, often translates to having a healthy body in itself.
And your
That's right, of
your immune
course.
system also is strengthened.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's,
true.
both. So you have both psychological, physiological, economic, spiritual
Yeah,
benefits.
yeah, true,
So,
true.
so it's kind of wholesome. So now this is important, and I think I will learn from you, and we will learn from one another. And I will appreciate if our listeners either through, they could chat and type and tell us exactly, give us their own take on this. So, how do you build a healthy relationship? We've, it's still the same thing we've been saying. We've mentioned communication, but you see, sometimes we think we are communicating, but we're not really communicating. So when we say communication, what we mean here is effective, proactive communication, you know. So not communicating, we're not talking about miscommunication here. Some people are busy, blah, 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 but they're not actually transmitting any message that is useful.
Just noise.
Exactly. just noise, and, we've talked, so you must actually find ways that you communicate effectively with your partner. And it's also about understanding who your partner is and understanding the times that you can approach them and have a very good discussion with them. Some people are not morning people. You don't go up to somebody that is not a morning person and start bombarding them with all sorts of things. They are finding it difficult to even wake themselves to be alert. So whatever you say, they don't even understand what you're saying. They may get angry at you. And some people don't perform very well or listen properly and be coherent and articulate when they come back from work. They're tired.
They're hungry.
They're hungry, they're tired. They just want some space. And then that's the time you come and say, oh, my dear, oh, whatever name you call them, and you start, zoo. And they'll be saying, yes, 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 even though they didn't hear whatever you say. So it's to actually understand your partner, understand the right time that you can approach them and really have a very good conversation with them, which will be productive. And going on from there, communication comes with listening. Because you need to listen, you need to understand what people are saying for you to negotiate also. Because negotiation also comes with communication. So, attentive listening. You listen, not just with your ears. You know that. People think you listen with it. You listen with everything. Your eyes, your posture, the way you bend in and move out again. These are ways to show that you are listening. And then when you listen attentively, then you ask questions. That's what comes from listening. Then you ask questions to check, to verify, to probe, to understand more what they're telling you.
Sure. I agree.
Great.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add to that listening?
No, I obviously communicating effectively and listening. When we talk about the effectively communicating a situation, means also that you give the other person the opportunity to respond to you. So you are not the one just talking and talking and talking. But there might also be times when that may be necessary. So the other person who is actively listening will just allow you that space to do so. And I tell you what, sometimes I speak out my heart, or I'm trying to share my heart, not because I'm expecting you to say something back, but I just want you to listen to me.
Yeah, because that's when it's so you're offloading.
Yeah, no, we're talking about communication here.
Yes.
So sometimes let's not be of the illusion that because somebody's talking to me, I have to talk back.
Yeah, no.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, of course.
The individual may just want you to just be a shoulder to cry on. Just listen.
Just be there. Just be there.
Exactly.
Just be there.
Mm. I mean, we as women, we struggle with that, don't we? Because because as mothers, we have this tendency to want to offer solution and to offer caring. So when our children or when our partners come to us, right, just to share their hearts, not even expecting anything, not wanting us to give our advice or suggestions, we struggle with that. Yeah. So it's something else, and we're talking about building a healthy relationship. You who is prone, or somebody like myself, prone to giving solutions, giving suggestions. Maybe one of the things that I need to learn is, hold it. It's not called for. If it's not called for, don't give it.
Exactly. Because, that's one of the things I even suggest for people to do at this time, to go and online learn the basic counseling skill. Mm-hmm. Basic counseling skill include being able to listen. Mm-hmm. Don't be quick to offer solution.
That's right.
Let the person that is talking be the one that will provide the solution for for himself.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So every person needs a basic counseling skill. Mm-hmm. So it helps also. Great. So we're also talking about communicating clearly. Don't give mixed, we made a mistake on that. It has to be a mixed message, MIX. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The message there, we made a message.
Yeah.
Mixed message. So we need to be clear about what we're saying to people. Sometimes we want to say one thing, but we end up saying something else. Sometimes the answer is no. That's what it should be. But either our body language or what we're saying is yes. And the person is the signal. So that's the signal now. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to say no, but the signals we're giving is yes. It's that of yes. You see, I shouldn't even go to when people start, say, that's what some people that molest or sexually molest people, abuse people. That's what they say. Oh, but you were telling me, you were saying yes, yes, yes. And your body was saying yes, because that's what they want to see, isn't it?
Yeah, you were being suggestive.
Exactly. So, but we need to be very clear when we are, communicating with people. Let our yes be our yes and our no be our no.
I think, Christine, also, it goes with the previous headline of point on the slides that you've not touched on. So it's creating a healthy boundary, or creating healthy boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you don't have healthy boundaries within your relationship, that's when the possibility of communicating or miscommunication, mixed messages, comes into play. So when you are used to being the one to provide that 100% all the time, and just be the one to do all the things in the house and what to do, and you've never set boundaries. When you've never, for example, established the fact that as a working partner, there are times that within your home environment, you just want to spend 5 minutes to yourself. Okay, so when you don't have such boundaries, anyone can walk into your space, invade your space, or and you are okay with that. Then the next time that you feel exhausted from this invasion of your private space, you begin to react negatively. You've given them a mixed message.
Exactly.
Because you've never had to set a boundary regarding your time alone. Why are you now getting angry when I've invaded the same way I've done in the last 20 years?
Yeah.
So yeah, it is important for us to set those boundaries. Look, I need time for myself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, for example, again, not having to obviously use myself as an example, but I'll tell you one of the things I do. The first thing I like to do when I wake up in the morning is to spend time doing my spiritual devotion.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a time for anybody to ask me anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the boundary I've set. Now, there are times that I let those boundaries slip.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, somebody, maybe a child, one of my children comes in to say, oh, well, and then it will be too late then. It will be a mixed message. If one day I say it's okay for you to invade my space during my morning devotion, and then it's not okay the other day, I've given a very, very clear mixed message. So your
Exactly.
confusion sets into play.
Mm-hmm. That's really right. You're
Mm.
right. And another thing is empathy. Don't be too slow to show empathy, to your partner. So empathy is good to empathize. It's good to take out time to show that you understand, that you feel for them, that you care, that whatever they're going through, you know, that they're not on their own, that they're not alone, you know. So be there for them. And be non-judgmental also. Oh wow. Some partners could be so judgmental, you know. Do you want to clarify on that,
No,
Gloria?
of course, not being non-judgmental. You should be. I think again, it's important for us to be clear
Mm.
for when it is necessary for you to speak the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But don't prejudge anyone. Don't feel that just because they are coming to you, you already know the reason for their problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that reason that you have worked at may well be in their inability to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
There's no place. Give them the platform to feel secure in sharing even their worst weakness with you. You know,
Exactly.
which non-judgment, being non-judgmental is very, very clear on, because if they don't have that space, if they don't have the security to trust you with their perceived failure or their perceived weakness,
Mm.
you're judging them.
And you're driving them away from you
Oh,
also.
yes.
Because I've heard about partners who says, "Oh, I started doing this because that person did not understand me,
Mm,
doesn't understand me." So they go to somebody that will share, that will show empathy,
that's
somebody
right.
that will not jump into conclusion when something happens,
Exactly.
and somebody that will actually give them opportunity to be themselves, not
Mm,
judging them,
yeah,
not saying, oh, they're weak, they're this, they're failure, that, they
that's
can't do
right.
that because they can't do that. So, and you drive a wedge in your relationship
You do.
when you fail to do some of these things that we've been mentioning. And
Mm,
when you prejudge people without even giving them opportunity to stand up for themselves and say, to speak out, you
mhm,
already judge them. You've actually sentenced them. That is totally very wrong, and that
mm,
will not create a very good relationship.
mm.
And let me leave you to talk about this last point, this smiling person here.
So share your thoughts and feelings with I think again it's in the realm of security within that relationship.
Mm,
Um, Now, if I feel that I'm secure, then I can share, I can be open with my emotions. But if I feel threatened, or I feel judged, or if my partner feels threatened or judged, then the wall is up, like you said in your previous
yeah,
illustration. So
yeah,
expressing emotions, okay, will only be in the confinement or of security, of safety.
Yes.
Okay, especially now, ladies, let me say this: allowing your husband to show emotions before you, okay, is key. Okay, again, it's that security that they have, that safety that they feel in your presence, that when things, sometimes things hurt, they can even come before you and feel vulnerable. Or
As a woman, yeah.
exactly, and don't become hysteric if suddenly your macho man suddenly becomes so vulnerable, like,
Like a baby, sobbing. Yeah,
so let us have a place where everybody can be themselves.
exactly.
Okay.
A safety net.
Yeah, and just share your emotions. Be you know open to shedding tears. If you have to cry, cry. If you have to laugh, you do so. But be able to express your emotions freely within your marriage. That's how you build a healthy relationship. And I tell you what, some men also like it when the woman appears vulnerable
Yeah.
for them. Some men don't like it when you're competitive. Okay,
Mm,
when you're so strong that you can't show your vulnerability before them. You have this attitude of all sufficient woman,
mm,
and you can cope with anything. Some, they feel threatened. It's like, am I married, or am I in a relationship with a fellow man, or
mm.
things like that. And so don't be skeptical, or don't be reluctant, or don't be slow in just making your emotions known, whether you're a man or a woman. A healthy relationship calls for that to be possible.
But also, showing your emotions is good for you. Bringing it out in the open is very good for you. And in itself, it's an intervention. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
it
it's
is.
a
It's
relief, it's
yes,
good.
yeah.
Mm. So, we continue also with some of the tips in building a healthy relationship. We say that you need to find out. You need to find out what the other person needs, what they want, and their interests. You should know that. That actually entails knowing your partner, because if you know your partner, it means you know what they need, what they want, their interests, their hobbies, what makes them kind of tick. You know what I mean? So it's important to do that. And how would you find out what your partner needs, what he wants? What ways can we do that? In what ways, Gloria, can we find out our partner's needs, wants, and their interests?
Do you know what? None of us, I mean, if we are honest, we would not claim to be psychics just like that. So there's no harm in asking,
Exactly.
you know, what is it? How can I help you? How do you think I can help you in this situation? Rather than, like I said before, offering your suggestion immediately, why don't you ask?
Yes, asking. You could also, if you've lived with somebody for years, eh, you could know who, somebody can, have routine, certain things that they do all the time. You get to know, their interests, what they like doing.
Yeah,
If
of
that
course.
person has routine.
Yeah,
So it's paying. It also entails being attentive.
that's true.
That's what it means to be attentive.
Mm,
You could be attentive because you've been watching and taking notes what they like, but you can also show attentiveness by asking,
that's true.
how can I help? What do you need from me?
Mm-hmm.
How can I be of help today?
Yeah.
Can I help you? You're doing this. Can I hold that end for you? So things like that. So also, another way is to talk about things, not just problems. Talk. Have time to talk to one another. You know, make time to talk to one another. But then, if there are issues, Don't just sweep it under the carpet.
Mm.
Don't say, oh, time will heal it. Time will not heal anything that you didn't bring to the open.
That's right.
You know? So have time to iron out things properly. Not ironing things out by fighting or throwing tantrums and shoes and being physical. But sit down and say, ah, my dear, I noticed, you've not been looking happy. Is there anything that is the matter? Have I done something wrong? Or is what's going on? Is it in your place of work? Is it something at home here? Is it your health? What is it? Try to inquire and do it in a gentle way. Both parties should do that. Don't say, oh, that's how he normally behaves. Oh, that's how she is. She's always like that, But she'll be fine later. No, she won't be fine later. She will internalize it, or he will internalize the problems. But if you notice that something is not right, the earlier you deal with it, the better, So talk about your problems. And another one is checking.
I'm just on with regards to talking
Yeah.
about the problems and also finding out. There's a way also that you could do these things. Maybe just to write a letter.
Oh, a note, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just a letter or a note. Tell the person, if it's especially if verbal communication is difficult, or maybe some of us come from homes where we're not used to having such discussions. So, it's not an area of strength. But write down, the issue, telling the person how you perceive, what they have done, how it makes you feel, and and make suggestion for how to heal that process. So write a note, write a letter, and leave it in a place where that person can take their time to read it. And then you can come back and have a discussion later where you feel more comfortable because you have been able to air your views or open your heart in a written format as well.
And also this partner will actually appreciate you more for doing that.
Yes.
They will appreciate you more.
Yes.
So these are the very tiny things that we could do. And checking. Yeah, we were talking about checking in. Checking with each other. There's no harm in. It's not as if you are reporting or taking permission to like I gave an example. You're going to work. You say, oh, I'm leaving for work, and these are my plans today. Actually, I have a meeting about 12 o'clock today. I may not be reached. Or when I get to work, I'm driving to so and so place for another meeting. And when you get there, you phone and say, oh, I arrived. I told you I was going to so and so. I'm there now, and I'm going to spend about 2 hours, and thereafter I'll be coming back. You're not taking permission. You're not telling your partner because they have to give you clearance to do whatever It's actually it's part of showing respect and saying I care, I value you. You mean a lot to me.
It's true, and sometimes it could well be maybe once a week or something, maybe on a Sunday. As busy couples, you may just have that time to check in with one another, each other. So you may have an hour to just sit down and find out how our behavior to the other person has been in the week. Is there? Can you tell me how I have been of help to you this week? Tell me some areas that you think I could improve to help you better or to communicate better. And then from there, we can now set a target or set targets for the week ahead with regards to our building a healthy relationship in our home or within ourselves. So checking in actually can take so many different forms.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
important for us to, the benefit of checking in is really to find out where the other person is in themselves and
Yeah.
within the relationship, and also to find out also the way to move to the next stage of our being together as couples.
Yeah. Come here.
You got your dog?
Yeah, she's shaking. Come here.
she,
Yeah, she's afraid of the when it's raining.
oh,
Yeah, she gets frightened.
oh bless.
Yeah, she gets frightened. Okay, say hello, yeah? Yeah?
You are so gorgeous.
Yeah, she's always frightened.
I know. It's a she, right?
It's a she, yeah.
She knows not to get her hair wet. We have the same problem. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah. So, another thing is to keep positive.
Yeah.
Have a very positive way of thinking. Don't, because something is not looking right today, you've now based your judgment on that by saying, oh, it seems our relationship is on the rocks already. It seems we're going to part ways. Don't be pessimistic, you know. Try and, like we said, check in, find out what's happening. Write notes, like you said, and be positive that whatever it is that is happening, that both of you can iron it out and still keep your relationship going. Is that okay?
Yeah, I just want to something my line of thought here. I want our listeners and all those participating in this conversation to be just to understand that when we're talking about building a healthy relationship, it is a healthy relationship between two either married couples or people in a kind of a sexual relationship, isn't it? So we're not looking at a mother and a child or a son here, because that would mean something else altogether, you know. So just to be clear on that.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for clarifying. Actually, that's one thing we should have stated clearly at the onset of this discussion. You know, yeah. You need to spend time. Spend quality time together. Maybe we'll set something about, you could have hobbies. You could have a shared hobby, shared interest, you know, and so share quality time. Could be watching things, or if you have children, the children have gone to bed or are studying, you could sit down together, talk, have a laugh, watch a film, or read books, or just talk generally. Try and find out what your partner is doing. If he has goes to work, find out how has it been, what happened at work, is it okay? Maybe because he may or she may want to actually talk to you about his or her job,
And talking about spend, what better time to do it than now during the lockdown?
Exactly. Imagine if you don't have a good relationship this time.
Oh yeah, of course.
So what will you do? You
Yeah.
don't have quality time with somebody that you are loggerheads with. Will you?
Yeah, no, but rather than now sit back and you start complaining about, oh, this lockdown and everything, here's your time to actually catch up on those movies that you've been wanting to watch together for years,
Exactly.
and all the books that you've been wanting to read together, or the food, the recipes you've been wanting to try together.
Oh, yes, exactly. This is a very good time. Actually, this is a time to play catch up,
Exactly.
All this time running around, going to work. But you're not going anywhere now. You have no excuse to do. You see what I mean? So, is it okay? Is this rain affecting? Are you okay with what we're saying?
No, it's fine. The sun is out where I'm at.
Yeah, but the rain is too much and it's so noisy.
Oh, really? No, I can't hear it.
Oh, okay, you can't hear it. I can
Yeah.
hear it. I can hear it from here a lot. Woo. So take time to care for yourself. Take time to care. Individuality also is important. You need to be your own person.
Boundaries, right?
And boundaries are not tied on the hips. Both of you are not joined together. So in as much as you care for this person, you love them, you trust them, you respect them, but you need to take time out. To refresh yourself, to be your own person, to pursue your own interest. Because actually, you are not the same person as your partner. You are two different people joined together in a relationship. So from time to time, you need to go and pursue some of your own personal interests.
Self-care is important.
Exactly. If you're a lady that likes to go to spa, why not do that? If you're a man that likes to go and play squash or, go golfing or whatever it is that makes you happy, or even just go out with your mates, and I encourage ladies or whoever to actually support their partners in the interest they've got.
Yeah.
Don't say, oh, they're going there because they want to go and do some silly things. No. Actually, when you have trust in them, because that shows that you trust in this person. You say, oh, I'm going golfing. Oh, yes. Help them. Make sure that the golf clubs, everything is ready. Help them, support them, and give them their flask of whatever drinks they want, and wave you off and say, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself, with your friends, and you go your own way and maybe go to the nail bar to polish your nails and do whatever. Have time for people, your partner, to go do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I agree.
And the thing is also have a goal. Have a goal in your relationship. Have smart goals, specific, measurable, actionable, time specific, goal. So, because if a relationship have a direction, it will last. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
If a relationship have a direction, you know where it's going, because you have a goal.
It's important for that goal to be realistic as well. For example, again, if it's in a situation where weight gain is an issue or weight loss is an issue, don't say, oh, in the next 2 months, I'm going to lose X number of pounds or stones. Be realistic. What is it that you're looking to do? You're talking about smart goals. Make sure that your goals are achievable within a set number of months or time scale, so that you are not also frustrated or disappointed or anxious for when these goals are not being materialized. And remember, you only have control of what is before you right now. You don't know what the next minute or the next a few hours or the next days or what have you is going to bring. Just like I think you and I met, was it in February? We met at the show.
Yeah, we met when we did our STEM ambassador thing at the Deadly Hills.
Deadly Hills, exactly. Was that was February, right?
Yeah, it was January.
Was it January? Or towards the end of
January.
Okay, because I remember I was yes, it was in January. It was towards I know last week in January.
Yes.
But did we ever foresee a lockdown or this?
Nobody. We were planning all sorts of
so it's
things that we do that involve many people, not lockdown at all.
Exactly.
Lockdown.
So
One of the plans we had was the cyber security
yeah,
workshop was going to be a face-to-face, and
that's right.
it's going to be networking and
Yeah,
then training.
yeah. So it's important for our goals to be realistic as well. And let's not whip ourselves too hard if we don't achieve those goals. Because, again, being secure enough to make mistakes
Yeah.
and to fail,
Mm.
if we call it failure anyway.
No. And it's just like some people expect, some goals they do. They have these shared goals of, how they're going to become wealthy.
Mm.
They don't even have a foundation for wealth.
It's
They've
true.
planned how they're going to be wealthy in their relationship, and so they will now build their own house, and then they will start their own business, and then they will go on a cruise, and then you put each partner puts pressure, unnecessary pressure on one another that will destroy their relationship, because
True.
the goal was not real. You making plans of £1,000,000 or millions of pounds, but there's no foundation, there's no
True.
at all that is going to happen.
And that's why it says the smart that you brought in is making it realistic,
Exactly.
reliable as well, relevant to current.
Small step at a time. Small step, but have something, a shared goal.
That's
as
right.
a family, as a union, saying, it could be something as little as, we could redecorate, this the kitchen, so you will buy paint, and put a lick of paint, both of us, something we're going to be doing together,
Or gardening,
gardening, go buy pots of flowers and, do things together. We're not saying having a goal of being multi-millionaires, and maybe that's going to happen in the dream, because there's no foundation, there's no indication that it was going to happen, and you keep running. In Africa, they will say you have a malaria dream. I mean, that dream that when you have malaria, you have some kind of dreams that are not coherent at all. You don't know where it's coming from,
Or you've eaten too much. You had too much to eat before you went to bed.
Exactly, things like that. That's how they say it. So, and we've said find a hobby. You've said that. Have a positive, and creative outlet. You mentioned that when you talked about, having hobbies and all that. And respect one another. We can't overflog that. So, yes, I'll continue with appreciate one another. You've got to appreciate one another and expect changes. Life is not static.
That's right.
So expect that things will change, and when you have that expectation that things will not be the same all the time, then when it happens, you would have been prepared mentally to tackle whatever life throws at you. I think so.
I tell you, with regards to appreciating one another, someone that I like to listen to and follow gave an illustration of something that he did for his wife some years ago. He started keeping a book, a record every day, keeping a record of some of the things that she did that he found good and nice. Things like the way she packed her hair.
Oh wow.
The dress she wore. He did that for a whole year.
Oh, good journal,
Yeah. He kept that information for a whole year, and on her next birthday, gave it to her.
Oh, that's a good present.
Yes. And apparently, because obviously this person is quite financially well off, he also bought her I think he said a BMW or something like that.
Woo! Yeah.
Appreciated that journal
Yeah.
much more than the car.
Exactly.
Because, you know, it was all about appreciating the little ways that she takes care in making him feel good. Things that
Oh,
not
that,
even,
I think I appreciate that more.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So a
appreciate
whole
that.
year. She did not know he was doing this,
Uh,
you know. So yeah.
mm,
And like you said, expect changes.
exactly.
We are living in a pandemic. Now, nobody ever, ever expected that to be the case.
Yeah,
You know, when we celebrated the new year, and here we are.
exactly. Exactly. So now we have talked about a healthy relationship, what a healthy relationship is, how the, you know, some of the characteristics of a healthy relationship, and the benefits for a healthy relationship, and also how to maintain, build and maintain a healthy relationship. Then it's wise now that we need to look at, you know, the flip side, unhealthy relationship. You know, unhealthy relationship is when you're not confident in your relationship. It's when you're not secure in it. You do not blossom in it. You do not feel, you know, that you could trust. You don't feel safe in that relationship. You know, you feel like an outsider in your relationship. You see, you can't wait to get away from the relationship. So these are things, you know, that you could relate, you associate with an unhealthy relationship. So let's look at, yeah.
Just to say also, when we talk about safe, feeling safe, we don't mean feeling safe only from physical harm.
Oh, yeah.
Safety to be able to make mistakes, to
Yeah.
feel, you know, to be ourselves, you know,
Great.
with all our weaknesses and, you know,
That's
shortcomings.
great.
You know, that's what we are actually emphasizing here when we talk about
Exactly.
safety.
Exactly. And so, some of the characteristics of this unhealthy relationship is when, you know, when you feel, the emotional side of it, when your partner, whether it's he or she or they, make you to feel, to humiliate you, feel as if you're nothing, degrading, degrading you, isolating you, controlling you, threatening you, either economically, either sexually, either physically or psychologically. You know, it's threatening and controlling you and monitoring you. So these are some of the signs of it. These are some of the characteristics of it. We've talked about the physical aspect of it. You know, when we talked about it last, the gender-based violence, where somebody decides to physically manhandle you, slap, push, punch, do whatever it is, and you know, you come out with bruises and looking black and blue and all that. So yeah, you want to say something?
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Another, I've also already mentioned the sexual abuse also. Some people will think when they're angry with you, they just bounce on you, they jump on you and touch you, and without you even saying, because you are in a relationship with somebody, does not mean that they owe you. That they don't own you. You know what I mean? You're not a property. You're not a goat or a hen or your cat. You know, you're nothing. You're a person.
It has to be mutual enjoyment and mutual benefits. And where that mutual benefit or mutual enjoyment is lacking, then it becomes an abuse, doesn't it?
Exactly, exactly. And you need to give freely, accept for somebody to even touch you. When you don't feel like it, you say, listen, you know, they shouldn't even come near. When you don't feel like being touched and, you know, petted and all sorts of things. So, and then financial abuse is there also. When partners knowingly withhold money, either to humiliate you, And it's happening. That one of the things that was said by the UN women this morning regarding gender-based violence is that it's happening a lot within this COVID-19 lockdown, that some partners are withholding money from their families, making sure that they don't have money to even buy food for the family. So that's as bad as it is. So that's not good at all. So then how do we improve unhealthy relationships? How do we change it for the best? I think basically, once you notice that your relationship is not the bed of roses that you planned it to be, that is not that kind of, heaven you thought it would be, because you're not supposed to be having relationship whereby you are tearing your hair and panicking and running around. Relationship is for enjoyment. But when you notice that things have started going pear-shaped, you've got to come out clean and talk to your partner. Communication again. You've got to say, listen, I don't know if you've noticed, but things have really changed from when we started this relationship. And I think we need to sit down and look at what's going wrong in our relationship. So talk to one another is an advice that should be given to anybody that is finding themselves in a relationship that is not what they actually bargained for. Then
just before I lose my line of thought,
yes.
Right. I would like to emphasize that in the event of a physical abuse, don't even do any talking, get out. Go and seek for help. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, when it's gotten to that stage, no.
Please. We're not, when we're talking about, accept that change is needed, talk to one another, not when there is violence.
No. We're not.
Let's just clarify that.
Right.
Once there is a domestic violence, you need help immediately. And the perpetrator needs to face up to the abusive ways, but you need to get out. If you want to talk, let it be from a distance.
From a distance.
Yeah.
Social distancing at that point.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yes, it's true. Don't put yourself in harm's way.
Yes.
What we are talking about, building a healthy relationship, is not when it entails somebody physically abusing you and all that.
That's right.
No, that's, we're not saying you should stay put and endanger your life or those.
And talk about it. No.
That person needs help.
That's right.
It has nothing to do with you.
But you need to take care of yourself first.
It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Go away and let that person seek help, intervention. There's help for people that cannot manage their anger. There's help for them. The people that are, hit people that are violent, there are help out there also for them. Our advice is that partner should go and seek for help, while the other one distances himself.
Let me bring something here, especially from within our cultures, okay, as Black people, and also as a Black Christian woman, okay, two things, Christian and women, because and Black, because often within our ethnic churches, especially in the case of domestic violence, some churches will attempt to pray about it.
Yeah, good. Pray about it. Yes.
Yes.
Nobody said you shouldn't pray.
Yes. And then the way of solving it is by praying. You do more than that.
No, you pray about it, but also do something practical.
I need to bring this because I have been in situations, I've known situations where all they have done is to pray about the situation and talk about it without having to directly address that violent behavior. A friend of mine once said, yes, the perpetrator needs their heart to be saved, right? Because obviously that's what prayer will do. But she also said, but the person also needs their head to be saved. So
okay, let me quote a Bible here, verse. You said, all faith and no works is dead faith.
That's right.
And all works and no faith, dead works. So faith and action must come together. Bible didn't say you just pray and everything will go away. You've got to also step out. When it says step out in faith, that means take action. In this case, intervention. Seek for proper intervention. Yeah. You can't just pray. And are you praying for God to whitewash your bad behavior? No, it's not going to whitewash. You've got to go and seek for proper help. The woman has to get away while she's seeking help.
And so if you are in a relationship, within the BME community, we talked about in our last conversation as well, and it is the culture norm for you not to go out and seek help from the authorities, from the established organizations, because you want to cover up. Please, for your good, for your safety, and the safety of your children, if there are children, and also for the well-being of the perpetrator.
Exactly.
And seek help. In this case, do what is culturally unacceptable.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You will be safe. You'll be fine.
Yes, exactly. I agree with you totally. And we cannot say it enough.
That's right.
That is, you see, this program is, or this discussion on your sofa discussion, it's not just for ethnic minority people.
No, it's not.
It's a diverse kind of discussion group. But when we see a community that will benefit more in being, singled out for a particular...
Or reminded.
Exactly. We do that. And that's what we're doing in this instance. Then we say seek counseling. There are therapists there. There are trained, qualified marriage or relationship counselors that will talk and listen to you and make sure that you people work it out amicably if your marriage or your relationship can be salvaged. Okay? And also, you are not glued to the hip, I said. You're not joined, attached on the hip. So let go of codependency. Some people in relationships, it's like that. It's just like they're each other's handbag, You see this one, in the next minute you see that other person. We're not saying you should not be partners loving one another and going about together, but give space sometimes.
And this is to the ladies, especially in some cases. You know, the ladies can be so attached.
Yes.
And needy. The man thinks that you become,
very needy.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's not what's that about. If you think you can't survive with it, go read a book.
Yes.
Enroll. Brush up your mind.
Call Diversity House.
Call Diversity House, and there are lots of training.
For a chat.
Exactly. And training. Develop yourself, capacity building.
That's right.
And look something. There's a book reading club somewhere. Yeah. There's a sewing club. There's a computer you could learn about. Go to cyber engineers.
That's right.
Learn all accredited kind of certificates that you could use it to get a good employment. So
independent in a way.
Exactly. And also You need to respect your individual privacies. It goes, together with be independent. Don't just coexist every second. Give yourselves breaks.
Establish boundaries.
Sometimes I personally go on short breaks myself away, and I clear my brain, all the cobwebs, all the little gremlins. Once I go for a short break, when I come home, oh, you need to
You
see
are as loving as ever.
the respect, man, the respect, because familiarities breed content. The respect. The children, the partner, even my little dog here notices when I've gone on my short break. She can't have enough of me when I come back. She's all over me everywhere. So that's how it is, and that's what people should do. So, and avoid monitoring, witch hunting, monitoring one another, controlling behavior. It doesn't augur well for any relationship whereby a partner decides that she will become a detective, doing leg work, a private detective, following somebody all over the place, stalking. It doesn't augur well. It's off-putting, because it's saying a lot about you and your character. It's saying, one, you don't have confidence in yourself. One thing, that's what it's saying. You lack confidence at all. You also say you do not trust your partner. And so any relationship that is not built on trust is like a house built on a quicksand. It will never stay. It will stay.
And it's exposing your insecurity as well. And like we said, a healthy relationship is one in which the both parties feel secure
and trust one another.
So if you're anxious about the movement of your partner, you don't obviously have a healthy relationship, and the problem could well be you that you need to sort out, you need to deal with, or it could well be that the partner has given you a reason to be suspicious. So you need to investigate those two aspects and make sure that security is brought back into your relationship.
Exactly, I agree with you. And then finally, you need to stop humiliating. You need to stop insulting, one another. You've got to respect one another. You've got to value one another. You've got to actually be loyal to one another. These are some of the core ingredients for a healthy relationship.
Christine, I like the way you almost summarized this slide. You said these are some of the ways. So we're not saying that this list is exhaustive or that we've come up with every possible way to improve an unhealthy relationship. We're open to our viewers and those who are but now or in the future to participate in this discussion, to write in and bring some of the ways that they themselves have had to, improve an unhealthy relationship in their lives.
Exactly. And so that brings us neatly to those questions that we talked about. We're going to only take 2 questions today, but if anybody need some questions answered, they could reach us on Diversity House, www.diversityhouse.org.uk. There's a contact form there that you could fill and to reach us, but we're also on live chat. Actually, we forgot to mention it when we started this, that we're on live chat. So they just go to the website and type any question and somebody will pick it up quickly and respond to their questions. So we have all sorts of platforms for you to reach out, to talk to us, so that you do not suffer all by yourself or suffer in silence. there is help out there. And
Very
so,
true.
exactly. So without much ado, Gloria, do you want to pick up one of those questions? Let's look at
Okay. I'm going to go to the second one, the one on the to my right, and it says my partner prefers doing things with their mates. And when I ask them to spend time with me, they get angry. Sorry, that was my editing. So it's not they get angry, it's they get angry. What should I do? And number one, again, let's just say and reiterate the fact that safety, security in a relationship leads to a healthy environment where every one of us will feel free to thrive. So it's important for you to investigate, you know, if your request to spend time with you is excessive.
Yes.
Okay. So if, let's say, it's a man, every time this man works full time, leaves home in the morning. Okay, we're in the southeast, right here, this way, this part of Kent. And perhaps he works in London, which means that he has to leave home very early to go to work and come back late at night. Okay, 45. Okay. And then the time he has to himself to hang out, maybe to go to the pub or to enjoy with his mates or golfing, you now demand that that time be spent with you in the house. Now, there might be something unhealthy about that. He needs also time to go and clear his head. So you have a look, review your request or your demand and see if it's obsessive or if it's unrealistic. If you find that your request or your desire for him or her to spend more time with you, it's what it should be. It is within the confine of your healthy relationship. Then you need to also find out why he or she has chosen to be out there alone. Okay, and then if, and I'm saying if, that you discover that your request is obsessive, what I will say is you also find something to do. Get involved with your friends. Okay, make that day or that evening, okay, that he goes out or she goes out to be with mates, make it also a time for you to go out and find yourself.
Exactly.
Okay. But we will reiterate the need for couples to spend time together. That is important. But that is not taking away also the privilege of the individual partners to be themselves as well, to engage in a social activity that doesn't necessarily involve the other partner. Does that make sense?
It does, totally. It makes sense. So yes, the lady or the partner, whoever that is feeling being left out, should try to be creative.
That's right.
Creative. Find your own recreation. But also, you could from time to time entice your other partner by having a date night.
Oh yeah, of course.
By having a date night. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and also, if you find that your request is a healthy one, it's normal. They just choose not to spend time with you at all. That is the time. That is the point you start bringing in those points that we raised with regards to how do you build a healthy relationship. That is the point you start talking. Okay, finding out, talking to find out what could be wrong and what it is about the environment with you two involved that is making that person eager to get out and be with
exactly. Scared.
Yeah, so
yes. Oh yeah. So one of the next one, That one says, my partner doesn't want to share problems with me. Sometimes they get emotional and want to break up because they think that I'm not happy with them because of their behavior. What should I do? So it's very loaded question.
There are lots to that.
Exactly. So we have to break them into chunks,
One of the things that I see that is instantly a problem with that relationship, right? It says that sometimes they want to break up.
Yes.
Okay. So there is an underlying problem here because no matter how bad, anger, no matter how difficult things are, okay, in some relationship, breaking up is not even considered. You get me? It should not be the first thing that we should go for. There should always be room. Again, we're not talking about where there is domestic violence here. We're talking about where, like in the last question, they prefer to spend time outside with mates. Okay. But if, the question of breaking up is surfacing, I don't know what you think, Christine. I think that's the time to call in a counselor.
I think there may be lots of things here. It's a loaded thing because maybe this partner is being, forced, coerced into this relationship.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't want this relationship again. Maybe it's being emotionally blackmailed into staying in that relationship. And that's why from time to time they threaten that they want to
get out. To
they don't want the relationship.
Yes.
Something is caging them down in that relationship, you see. And that's actually the crux of the matter. The key that glues the whole question together is that one thing, wanting, threatening, wanting to break up. Yeah. So whatever you do, if we do not find out, it has to be important that this person needs to find out exactly why do they want to break up. Because if you know the reason why they want to break up with you, then you could now begin, the other things can be addressed.
I just want to say, actually, towards the end of that question, it does say why they think a breakup is important. It says breakup because they think that I am not happy with them because of their behavior.
Okay, so that's it, their behavior. So this person is maybe it's an abusive relationship, maybe he's a philanderer, you know what I mean? So there are many things that could have led this person that is threatening to break up to want to break up. But it could be an excuse. You say, you wanted to break up with me because you are not happy with me. That's what somebody that is an unfaithful person, that's an excuse. He will turn it around and say, oh, maybe it's you're not happy, so let's break up. And that's justifying why they want to break up. That's justification. Justifying himself, giving himself an excuse. I'm trying to break up for you, for your own good. You see, you're not happy with me, so let me just break up with you. He wants to go away. He doesn't want to be in that relationship. It's not about him trying to make you happy. You're not happy, so let me just leave you so that you could be happy. Maybe I've done something to you. I'm making you unhappy. He doesn't, the fact is, there's something that he wants to go to. Because if he thinks that you're not happy because of his behavior,
he should try and talk.
He will try to change, to be a better person. Yeah. He could call you and sit down and say, it seems there are things that I'm doing, knowingly or unknowingly, that is making you unhappy with me. I want our relationship to succeed. I want you to be happy with me because I care for you. So you please outline those things that I'm doing that I don't know that I'm doing that is making you unhappy so that I can change, I can turn a new leaf. You see, that's what somebody that wants a relationship, that's the line of action. You see, that's the line of action.
But you know what? Like you said, there's so much to this particular question, because it says sometimes they get emotional. What do
Yeah.
you mean by what do you mean by them getting emotional? You know, what I would want to say to this person is, you need to look at yourself and look at your relationship,
Exactly.
particular relationship. Are you safe? Are you secure? Secure enough to be yourself? Are you happy? Are you fearful?
Exactly.
Do you have great hopes for your future together? Do you look forward to spending time laughing together?
Do you
Now,
feel like excited,
you
looking
feel
forward
excited,
to him coming back or her coming back?
or are you just putting up with things? You feel that it might get better, or you think that if you change, then things will not be as bad.
Or
Now,
if this person leaves, that you won't find any other person to
exactly.
take his or
Now,
her
you need
place.
to look at all these questions. And
Yes.
if you answer yes to any of those questions, or to one or more of those questions, I will say this to you, partner, that it's time for you to actually decide whether it should not be you deciding to walk out.
Exactly. Who says you shouldn't work out yourself?
Or
You do your head
maybe
hard.
it may be time for you to say to this person, you know what? I give you the freedom to break loose.
Exactly.
You know, I give you my blessing.
Fly.
You
And
fly.
if he or she comes back, then they belong to you.
Exactly, excuse me.
Hit the road, baby, or hit the road, guy, whichever one it is.
You know,
Yes.
we can continue with this, and we don't know, because that particular question, we could spend a whole hour discussing it.
Exactly, exactly. So we hope if this person needs more, want to explore more, they know exactly how to reach us. We're on live chat, we're on the phone, and at the other end of the phone, or just email us. Use whichever platform that is okay, but we're here to talk to you about it more.
Sure.
So we've already given our final thoughts. There's nothing that is better than good communication, constructive feedback to your partner, show empathy, take care of yourself, loosen up, look for a hobby, be very creative, socialize with other people, shy away from codependency. It doesn't help. Be yourself and live in the present and treat yourself well also. Take care of yourself. These are some of the ways that you could forge and sustain a healthy relationship. Do you have any other thing, any thoughts, final thoughts?
What I would say is, you know, join groups. You'll find that you're likely not to be on your own. So look out for healthy groups. Join a network. Get in touch with us. You know, get in touch with Diversity House. Broaden your horizon.
Yeah.
And I will tell you what, the better person you become, you'll find that you'll actually become a better person in a relationship as well.
And
Every relationship needs a top individual, you know, one that is whole.
top dog, kind of. And also you will gain respect.
That's it. You make the most of every relationship that you become part of. You become a blessing. You know not to sign up for the wrong one.
Hmm.
next time.
Great. That's really wonderful. I think if our participants and anybody that will come across this discussion on the YouTube or website, I think they will have a lot to think about and take away from this discussion. And I'm sure our participants have gained a lot from this also.
I
Yeah,
have.
gauging from the comments and their chats and all that with one another. So on that note, let's look at what we've got for the coming Monday, the, um, the 4th of May, I think. So the next on your sofa discussion is on Monday, the 4th of May, from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, the usual time. And what a very good way, flow that this discussion is going. Communication, the foundation of a healthy relationship. I think I like that. It's flowing very well. So we will be looking at communication, the foundation of a healthy relationship. So until then, Gloria, have you got anything for the
I think yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then also to our viewers, if you have any burning desire for a particular topic to be discussed on this program, write in, join in, come and have fun with
yeah,
us and enjoy your weekend and be safe wherever you are.
have a happy weekend and enjoy yourselves. And we look forward to seeing you
Bye bye.
same time on Monday. Bye.
Bye.